Alright guys, check it out. This is the cover 2. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and you know what he told me? He says the cover 2 doesn't work like it's supposed to on the games, because people roll out too far, and before you know it, they can get to those curl flat zones, okay? Well, I've been working on it for a week, and I figured out the combination. I had to go to the Colts playbook, though, so this is going to be the Madden Edge cover 2. You know, you can't run this if you're in the West Coast or the 4-6 because they don't have the plays. So you do need the Colts playbook to run it the way that I'm going to run it here, guys. So here's the lineup. All right, now we got Sessions at the end, Freeney at the other end, and Mathis at one end. And you say, why isn't Mathis on the end? And it's because all the pieces have to fit together. We got Sanders on the left outside, Brackett right up the middle because of his zone ability. Now you guys know the great Tampa teams, they had Sapp at the middle, right? And Sapp could have been an end, a tackle. He could have even played linebacker. He even played tight end in high school. So we need the athleticism of Mathis at the tackle because their tackles are just weak. So I mean, he's not that strong, but he's athletic. He's 85 overall, and he's going to make some plays. And trust me, because of the guys backing him up, you will see that you're not going to be able to run too much. So we got the corners here, Powers and Tyron. I'm showing you their, their zone abilities. It's awesome, right? Tyron, I got him as the second. He's 92 speed. His zone isn't as good as Powers, all that. And that's because I have Hayden at the safety so that I can just lock up this cover 2 defense. So we got Bethea at the free, Hayden at the strong. Alright? Now, the way that I have this set up, guys, it just makes everything crazy. Like if you look at play 3, it's optimal, right? Everybody who's dropping in the coverage can. Everybody who's blitzing should. It's just awesome, that play right there, guys. So that's why you want to do that, and you only want to do that if you feel that you must. That's kind of like a gamble play, but even that one is kind of safe because everybody who's in the zone is really gonna do that well. So these are the audibles set up, as you can see. And play 2 right there. You guys see that? That is huge because that makes it so that you don't really have to cover the curl flats because the guys are going to get in so quick and you don't have time to really roll out and get to the curl flats. So if you shade the free safeties and the strong safeties over a bit, it's good. Alright, guys, so this is the end of the game once I figured it out. Once I figured out everything. And in this game I actually had 3 or 4 deep at times, and but to run the cover 2, you need teams that are great athletically, and these Colts can certainly do it. There's a few other teams that can do it, but I know the Colts can do it. So this is kind of awesome. So this guy messaged me and was talking crap to me or whatever, but all I needed to say is thanks, guy, for helping me figure out this system, because he had a tricky offense, so that helped because it helped me develop everything I need. So play 1, basic, but guys, with these Colts defense, it becomes a monster. Play 5 becomes a monster if you call it at the right time, and play 6. These are all great. That's a cover 1. So I'm just showing you this so I can talk more about this, guys. So you can run the cover 2. I'm going to show you how to do it. And in fact, guys, those plays up there are going to be there so that I can explain to you exactly what's happening and why, as it's happening on the field as best I can. So if you have the ebook, this part will not be blocked out. And neither will the audibles. And this is going to go into the defensive ebook or the full scheme ebook. So if you don't have it, go ahead and get it, because you're going to want to know how to run this cover 2. Like I said, only a few teams can run it this well. If you have other teams that that have like good ends and good safeties, but there's a hole at backer here, or there's a hole at corner, yes, you can run it, but it's not going to be like this. You know, you're going to have to gamble a bit more. But with this play 3, I think if you have good corners, you know, then that's going to make it so that you could still run this defense. And as we're going through it, you'll be able to see why. I hope. So guys, sorry I didn't get the beginning of this game because I was going through the, getting everything straight. But I do this guy messages me at the end, so we'll be able to see his record was like 43-35 or something like, I don't know. He was about 10 games over 500. It was right after I played this guy in the Niners. So here we go, guys. We're going to establish the. Oh, did you guys see the line? All right, we're going to go to the screen because he looked like, it looked like he had that left run packed up. And for those of you who want to know how to run this offense a little bit better, I'm running the Madden Edge weak formation and the Madden Edge far twins formation. I go between both of them, and it's becoming a great mix. So yeah. You guys saw that I stacked the left side of the Colts, right? So that I could run. And that one was not successful. I'm really thinking about running the cover 2 with the Colts because you guys know Peyton Manning is my favorite quarterback. I got his rookie card when I was like 19 years old. So I'm glad I took the time to figure out how to get this cover 2 really, really dominant. Alright guys, so you remember the Chargers video? It took me a while to figure out how to get Gates going. Well, it didn't take me that long with the Colts because they're kind of like the same player. So you'll see a lot of those Gates routes this time around. So with these, actually these are 6, the base 6 plays that I called, and then there's about 3 others that will be popping up on the screen when I use them. But watch this mistake here. Oh no, is it now? I think it is now. Okay, so I'm going to that Gates route, and look, he has it covered, and I don't go quick to the back. And kind of forced to throw there. That will come into play because I'm going to learn very quick. I didn't get picked, and I'm going to take advantage of that next time. I've been punting this punt right here, guys. Put it low, give it full power, full accuracy, and got a lot of no returns off of that there. A lot of pin punts. Alright guys, so one thing that I learned about the Colts is they're not a good bump and run team. Their coverage, like I showed you, is in the 90s and 80s, and only one is in the 70s, like high 70s, but they're not very strong in terms of being able to press. So took me by the end of this drive, I didn't press anymore, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so there we got Boss right there, getting off of the press. Okay? And he's going to complete about 3 passes, and then I'm going to realize, I'm going to go like, well, look at the coverages, and they're all 90s, and then they said, oh, don't press them. They're not good at pressing. And then that was that. Let's see what he's going to do here. And he's still getting off of the presses. I think he gets one more. He's actually going to get down there and be about ready to score. And then we're gonna get it. I think he has one more pass to complete before that gets locked down. Alright, so here we go. That was another time pressed up. And this is powers, guys. His coverages are in the 90s. So that right there, let me know. Stop pressing, buddy. Bad formula. And then at that point, with the information that I got out of those three practice games, and with finally coming to the to grips with the fact that I could not press, it just you'll see. I get 4 picks, guys, a couple pick sixes. It's just, he's running, and they're somewhat vulnerable to the run. But if you come out in, kind of like a base defense, then they, a base with, like a little pressure, then they're good. And as you can see from these 6 plays, there are a couple that have that. So if you do that, they're not going to be able to run. All right, I had to take a quick break here. So this is play 6 here, guys. And as you can see, now remember what I told you guys about putting that athletic player at the tackle like the Bucks did. And Sapp used to do stuff like this all the time. And this is why, because there's so much pressure. But okay, so check it out, guys. So that's play 6, and as you can see, that's a man play, right? Well, remember what I said. If you don't press the Colts, they're gonna cover very well, because their coverage abilities are high in man and zone, but their press coverage is whack. So a lot of times what people do is they press these guys, and then the guys are 3 and 4 feet past them, and you can't figure out why. Well, it's because you pressed them. Don't press them. Just let them do what they do, and call these 6 plays. And I have like 2 or 3 that I'll be putting up on the screen when I go outside of these. But for the most part, these are the plays. All right, let them do what they do, both in man and zone. Don't press up. Let the ends do what they do, and make them force you have to throw quick. They don't need to press. They're that smart. They're that good. Hey guys, that looks like play 1. And see, there we got Session doing his thing on his own. Session's tackling is like 90. So he's overall, I think he's a better overall end than. All right, so check this out, guys. Going to the half. So I just can't stress enough to you to let them do what they do in terms of the coverage people. And based on these, I think these are 6 at the top, and I'm bringing to these 6 plays. It's all working like one system. This is just lovely. All right, so watch this. Now that right there looks like just a play 1, right? Now what happened with that, guys, is that he's just a little bit better athlete. Okay, I got guys on the outside backers positions at speed of like 87 and 92, but on that particular time, Bradshaw was just a little bit better than the guy who was 87, and you got to live with that. I'm not going to back out of it just because he gets a bang bang play that that I'm going to bat down at least half the time. All right, so that was just a basic play 5 up there, guys. All right, and whatever. Guessed wrong. Thought he was passing. Play 6. Now, you know why this works is just as long as I don't press up, right? Just as long as I don't press up. All right. Now, that is my one guy who is Tyron, 92 speed. He just gets beat. If you want to make an adjustment, if he's going to that side, then you can just instantly flip your other corner powers over there, who's a little bit better. So, but Tyron will certainly hold up, and I really like Bethea or Hayden at safety. So, and I like my other guy who could play safety at the outside linebacker, so I'm going to live with that. I could put Bob Sanders at safety and then do that, but then I'd be weak in terms of coverage to linebacker. So I'll go ahead and live with that because of his speed and his coverage abilities, is in the 70s and 80s. So now look, now we got Bradshaw, who is their best athlete at running back, and he's hurt. So what that means is now that I'm either equal or better at the linebacker spot than they are at back, and so now I can really have free reign. And what happens here is that now their linebackers are more athletic than the running backs, and that's going to be the case with most teams. As you can see, I'm kind of sticking to that. That's a play 6 that I audibled out to and can't really. We'll see if we can watch if he passes what I did. That looks like play 5. Okay, I remember that actually. So that was a play 5. And this is where, when you have to start spying Mathis into that, because that's the one little spot that he kind of likes to pass to if things are covered. Now, a different opponent, might be to the flats or hooks or whatever. So once you start calling your play 2, which is going to be your base play, and then he's going to realize, okay, everything's kind of taken away and he can't really roll out. Then he's going to start kind of going underneath or whatever, and that's when you have to get Mathis and either user him to where you think he's going to go, or just hot route him there. Now, what's going to happen with that is a good player they're going to see that. So sometimes fake like you're going to drop into his zone and actually, just go ahead and blitz him, but because you're going to be vulnerable to the run, once he sees you doing that. But pretty much, that's how you're going to get him. And he's not going to have time to get to his second read because of that right there. See that? He's not, because Dwight Freeney came off the end, and bracket zone coverages is like 80 or 90, so you don't really want to throw into the middle of the field, especially off balance off the back foot. So that's the cover 2 working to a T. All right. So like when you call your 2 and your 5s, be ready to drop, especially like on a passing situation, be ready to drop Mathis into wherever you think is going to go. So drop Mathis or user him there. What I was going to say, guys, is you have to come out in the 4-3 normal and then audible into these plays, because if not, they don't put Mathis where he's supposed to be on the other plays based on that roster setup that I showed you in the beginning. Remember, this is not the Madden Edge roster. This is the way that Madden Edge would run the cover 2, and it's, believe me, it gets picks. They're athletic. They're flying all over. But listen to everything what I'm saying, and get your only run this with a team who matches up similarly. All right, okay. Now remember earlier, I rushed, or I forced that ball into Clark because that's my main guy. This time I have been telling myself the whole time, okay, the next time I get that spot, I'm not going to force it. So if it's not there, I'm going to go to my second. So I didn't get picked last time, and I took advantage, and I was conscious of actually making that decision. Here he goes. He's just bringing too much pressure and you know that whole that left side of the line is solid, so he's really just not going to get in. That's the Madden Edge weak set, and Madden Edge Far Twins is what I'm running here. So if you don't have the offensive ebook and you want to know what I'm doing, then go ahead and get that ebook. And to get the this video where it's not blacked out, go ahead and get the ebook, and this will be under Madden Edge cover 2. Now, see, now we're playing cat and mouse, because you remember last time I went to that route, he was on it. The next time I went underneath, and this time I went back. So I'm just kind of assuming what he's going to do. And at that time I was right. And this guy, I think, was 47 and 37 or 43 and 33, something like that. If you really want to know, you could kind of look it up. It's going to show his user name after he messages me good game. So as you guys can see, I'm kind of staying in these plays. Oh, and the main thing about this, guys, is that I don't ever get into cover 3. Once. I don't even feel a need to, because you know the man in zone coverage abilities are so high. There's no need to press. They're very good. The only thing you have to do is say, is this person good enough and tricky enough to make me, as you saw what I just did there with Mathis. Okay, so did you guys see that? I took away his favorite little read to that tight end crossing underneath, right? So what does he do? He goes to his second look, and guess what happens? Sessions and Freeney are on the way in. He has to get rid of it quick, and guess what we have back there? We have coverage, and we're talking about world-class coverage. So this is how, right here, I still think he wants to go to that. Let's see if I'm right. So he tried to go a little bit different, but guess what? I didn't press him. So what does that mean? They're not going to be beat. So he goes to his next route. Why? Because last time he waited, he was about an inch away from a sack fumble. So he fires it into another 2 deep coverage. Again, I'm thinking, you know, that he wants to go to his little route. And he does, but look, there were 2 people there. So it becomes kind of like that simple. Once you have this combination of 6 plays, you just, you know, call 2 and 5 in passing situations. You know, based on, you know, like if you think he wants to go here or go there. Those are those 2. 2 is going to cover everything, especially if he tries to roll out. And 4 is, and this is play action. Look at this. No. See that? Remember, not pressing. 4 is where you think he wants to go. Go to that certain area, and you know you're going for a pick. That's if you want to be risky, and you don't have to be any hot routing. And guess what? You have good zone coverage from everyone who stays out. All right. In Hail Mary situations, seriously, guys, what I would do with this team is I would just go with a 1 and just go with a 1 and maybe back the safeties up. All right? Seriously. I mean, nothing too bad is going to happen. If you really feel like, okay, that's not enough, then you can drop brackets into the deep zone, because his zone coverage is 80s, and then that's it. And I mean, you're just sold up. I'm telling you straight up, this team is solid. In fact, I mean, it's so fun and easy to do this. I'm thinking about doing this for a while. I think that was just a basic one. And like I say, you're going to give up some of that. But and if you really, really feel the need to to stop that, you can kind of do like a play 6 or anything similar to that, and just depending on which side you think he's going to go to, right? There are all types of plays in the 4-3 book that are similar to 6 that go both ways. So I mean, if his favorite play is like if he wants to run left, then just call a play that is close to 6, but one that just goes the opposite way, and you don't have to worry about doing anything else because the ends are athletic, and you have coverage behind you that's pretty, you're not going to get beat. Now, if you have somebody like, let's just say, a Deshaun Jackson, or you're going up against a person like that, well, then one becomes risky. Because why? Because Vic's going to get away, right? And then he's going to try and go the bomb to Jackson. But as long as you don't press, and I think if you drop your secondary back, then I don't think he's even going to complete that. Now, don't drop the backers back, but drop your secondary back. And then go ahead and do that just in case he's going to try and throw to Deshaun Jackson. And, you're bringing the pressure. But then what happens is Vic gets away, Vic rolls, and Vic gets that extra 2 or 3. Well, I don't know if Vic can really roll. See, that's the thing about them. Vic really can't roll. So just don't even press up. Maybe in that situation, drop him back, because Vic is going to be able to buy a little bit more time than anybody else. But he can't really roll too much, especially with that pressure coming from 6. Then that's going to force him into the ends if he rolls too much, and that's bad news. Does that make sense to you guys? So Vic is an exception. If a person is really good, then I would say with 6, if you're trying to stop the run, certainly don't press up the receivers. Don't press up your corners and your safeties ever against Vic, especially with his arm strength and with the Deshaun Jackson. The line and the linebackers will stop the run if you pick a play that's going to the right side. And that combination of ends not allowing Vic to be able to run too far is going to force him to throw pretty quick. All right? Sorry, I know that was talking crazy, but it's the truth. And as you can see, even on that, and so now this guy's trying to run, right? But what's happening is, as you can see, Bob Sanders make that athletic play. He only got 2 or 3. So that's what I'm saying. It's like you don't really have to, worry too much about too much happening, because you have great athletes backing up the weakness of the tackles. Now here we go, right off the end, and look, nobody's really there. He might have been able to hit Boss coming, but Boss wasn't his first read, and might have. That's a real might. That's the cover 2, guys. That is the cover 2. But you have to run it like this. With these 6 plays, I'm telling you, you're gonna lock them down. I'm telling you. So if you don't have the ebook, get it, because this is going in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the blacked off plays, and then what happens, guys, is where you go to log into your ebook, a link to this video is going to be there, but it's not going to be blacked out. And also I'm going to update this in the ebook, and then after that I'm going out of town. But you need, if you have a team with good ends, pretty good backers, and a good secondary, you need to learn how to run this. It's 5 or 6 plays of just dominance, and it's all based on the ends and the guys not being able to really get to where they want to go. And if you want to know why this offense is doing what it's doing, why things seem so easy, it's because I'm pretty much just out chessing this guy with this Madden Edge weak set and I'm going into the far, when I really feel the need to make something happen. Again, oh no, watch this. Watch, I think this is when I run it back, and then he finally starts to cover the screen. He finally starts to realize, okay, maybe I ought to drop somebody into those zones, and then watch what Peyton does. And this is kind of the same thought process on, you guys remember when I used to run that toss, and then once they finally stop it, trust me, something else is there. Alright, so watch the screen. Not going to force it. Watch this. Watch the screen. It's not there. He's waiting. Look at Manning. Whoop. And Wayne. See, Wayne is going to... Now, this thing about Wayne. Alright, guys? If you give Wayne that much time, he's going to find the free space. You understand that? Clark is going to be able to find the space quicker, because if you press him, he's still going to get off of it, because he's strong and fast, and his route running and everything else is high. So Clark is going to hit you quick. Wayne needs a little time, but if you give him time, it's good. So that's why this offense is deadly and this defense is deadly. So the tackles, that's a weakness, but now you kind of see why it's really not that much of a weakness, and why the old Tampa Bay teams used to have those athletic, they had athletic tackles always, not, guys who were really, really, just stud, plug guys, because you don't really need them if you do it this way. So to my guy at the bank who was telling me that the cover 2 doesn't work like it's supposed to, yes, it does. You just got to take some time to figure it out. And then if you don't want to figure it out, then get the ebook, and this video will show you how to do it. And let's see what's going on. I'm just resting a die. Hungry? Alright, so for those of you who like the simplicity of the Madden Edge 4-6 defense, you're going to love the simplicity of this. But I got to tell you that look at your lineup and make sure that you have people who are comparable in athletic ability and coverage skills. If not, then of course you're going to have to open up more of the playbook, because you're going to have to compensate for other weaknesses and blah blah blah. So Raiders, yes. Packers, yes. Just you just have to move them around so that they're like this. Steelers, yes, because you can put the linebackers at ends and have them coming hot, and they have extra backers. So yes, but there are a few teams that that you can do this with, as long as you're running the plays in this format, in this sequence, because I don't know, to me it seems like it has to be that way. Like, you can't really go too far out of here, because that's when you start gambling and people start finding holes. But as you can see, because of the coverage abilities and things, there's really not any holes. So as you can see, I'm doing something with, look at Freeney, look, see there, doing something with Mathis again, because I'm assuming he's going to go there. So pretty much with an advanced player, doesn't matter if he's advanced or not. If it's a passing situation, you can go ahead and use Mathis and take him where you think that guy's going to go. Every now and then, a good player is going to draw out everything, but like I say, it's a passing situation. And of course, you can always fake it like you're going to hot route him if you have noticed that this guy is running every time you hot route Mathis, and then it becomes kind of like, like a chess match, but it's not a serious chess match because he really doesn't have any time. If he's throwing and you put that guy to where he was going to go, see that there, then what happens is you get coverage. Now, even though he should have caught that, the guy was still right there to bother him, and he could have just jumped right in there and picked him. Now, if you're using your team and that backer is, just a little bit higher rated, then maybe that's a pick. And even that guy right there is going to pick that, like maybe once out of 4 or 5 times. And he certainly was in a position to bat that if I had switched and used them. So this is the kind of things that you get with this team. Just don't have time. And there we go. We got a quick hot throw. Why? Because he knows, okay, let's just forget it. I'm going to go there. So now he's throwing blind into zones, and we already know the brackets zone ability is like 85 or 90 or something like that. So pretty much all I got to do is, if I know he's going to pass, and if he if he thinks he's going to do that, then I can call like a 2 or a play 2 or a play 5 and put Mathis right there like that. Now here we go. That was a play 2, guys. Now look what happens. He throws to the flats and gets 2 yards. Why? Because they're studs. This is the cover 2 defense, guys. So what are we in? It looks like maybe a play 5 or play 1, right? That was a play 5. That's how you use play 5. See that? That's why I got Sanders there. So like I say, with this team, we have that one, kind of flaw, but it's really not a flaw because Tyron is 92 speed and his coverages are in the 70s, high 70s and 80s. And plus, on your main base plays, which is a play 2 and a play 5 and a play 1, you have people backing him up and people right there by him. Right? So it's really not that big of a deal. So that's why I have the lineup set up this way, so guys can make plays and these guys can throw right into traffic. I'm telling you guys, this is just kind of pretty simple. I mean, I hope I'm explaining it right. So now this guy wants to try and score. So this, I'm putting this in the ebook. The ebook is now going to include the cover 2. Remember, this is not, you do not set your roster like the Madden Edge style. Well, do you? Do you? Let's see. Let's find out. Let me think about that. It's a little different because one of the tackles is not going to be strong. Right? We're going to put that athletic guy up in there. And I mean, if I had somebody who was strong, yes, but now that I think about it, no. Because I need somebody who can go ahead and take away that guy's favorite reads underneath, right? And who is that? It has to be somebody who is athletic. So no, this is not the Madden Edge scheme. This is the Madden Edge cover 2 scheme. And that's that. And yes, they're, like I told you, if the guy sees you hot route and doing all that stuff, a good player is going to draw there. But that's why sometimes trick them, blitz them. Act like you're hot, And so then he really, now there, that was a play 1, guys. Just basic. I didn't press him or anything like that, and then that's what happened. I mean, you get me? This is how you run the cover 2. Now, some teams are going to have it, like each team is going to be a little bit different. Like, let's just say some teams are going to have it to where their weakness is not going to be that corner. It might be a linebacker. But if you look there, he has to get rid of it. But again, almost another one. If you look at play 2 and play 5, you can kind of see that people are backing you up. Now, what you can't have is weak safeties, and you can't have weak ends. Period. You can't. Or you can't run this. Now, let's say even with the average team, let's say average corners and average linebackers, can you run this? I think so. if their coverages is just average, you know, like in the 70s, I think you can run it. Obviously, you know, you might not get 4 picks because they're going to drop some. But if the coverages are in the 70s and the quarterback is having to throw, you know, quicker, you know, than he wants to, I think you can with a team that's average. But one thing I know you need is good ends and good safeties. I mean, like, you know, guys who are covering in like the high 80s and 90s at the safety, and at the ends you need guys whose speed, like I would say the speed and all that can't be under 82, and they need to be 90 overall. So you need safeties in the high 80s or 90s, and you need ends in the 90s, maybe 80s if you have like some pressure coming. If you have better pressure coming up the middle because of the tackles, maybe, you know, maybe high 80s. That's just, you know, that's just my opinion. If you don't want to, you know, have to gamble and guess and do all that. This is just kind of just straightforward. My ends are quick. They're better than you, and you have to throw into this zone coverage quick, or into this man coverage quick, based on these 6 plays. Another one. See that? That's why in these passing situations, because everybody is so good, you can just go with the play 1. And if they're, you know, like really good at passing, then like I said, you know, you can drop your middle linebacker whose coverage is high into the deep zone. So now you got 3 deep off of the play 1 in that, you know, passing situation, you know, like into halftime or things like that. They're gonna lock up, and if a guy, you know, beats you with a Hail Mary or whatever, then, you know, you just got to suck it up, but you got to stick to your system, and you're not going to, I mean, that's going to happen 1 out of, you know, like 90 times, guys. So I can't wait for you guys to try this defense. If you don't have the ebook, get it, because this is certainly going to take your game. Look at this. They're just to the next. Everybody's there. You know, it's just, you know. All right, so I'm going to get both videos up tonight. In terms of the ebook, I will try and get that up tonight or in the morning, because I know some people like to learn by reading and some like to learn by video. And the way I have this video, it should be, you know, it should make it kind of easier if you like to learn by video. And this guy, he misses the kick, so it's a shutout with the new Madden Edge cover 2 defense. Very easy to run. I mean, very easy to run. Don't worry about no line shifting, nothing. Just call these plays, call them at the right time. Passing situation is 1, 2, and 5. 6 is a running situation. 4 is when you want to gamble because somebody is trying to attack the flats. Whereas if you call 5 and he's, you know, like let's say he's really good at getting to the flats, well, 5, you know, you're probably not going to get a pick. You'll just get a tackle. 4, you know, you might be able to surprise him and get that pick. That's if you can get him to throw quick into that area. But that is a gamble. Okay. So I mean, that's the D. So this guy's going to say good game. I'm going to give him the Madden Edge tag. So if you guys are tagging people, thanks for that, and continue to do that. I'm working on getting some sponsors for the site so that we can have some bigger tournaments and stuff like that. So let's do that. Guys, if you're members, subscribers or not, go ahead and subscribe, and go ahead and check out the Twitter page. You can find that link at the MaddenEdge.com site. Has helped that get going. So I know you guys are going to love this defense. I'm certain of it. Run it just like this. Don't worry about hot routing, and don't mess with the ends, and don't do anything, because you're going to mess things up just like I did with those corners, right, guys? Let them do what they do. Let the defense work for you. Just let the defense work. Call the play. Out-coach these guys. I'm telling you. So I'm going to give this guy a good game. MaddenEdge.com. And then that's that. So I'll see you guys like on Monday or Tuesday with something new. Maybe I'll be running this cover 2 more. I don't know. Alright guys, so I think that is about it. Maybe, let's see. Yep, that's it. Alright guys, so running the cover 2 as possible if you use these plays and use those type. Oh no, we're gonna do the stats. So we got Eli with 4 picks. Look at Manning's efficient day. 8 of 9, just running that nice little West Coast offense, low risk. All right, cover 2 certainly possible, but do not mess with the line shifts. Do not press the corners. That's not their strengths. And the line guys, they're going to do it on their own. They're going to do it on their own. All right? Take it easy.